Let's talk about the visitor visas. People who are currently holding a visitor visa of Australia either have a visa for 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. Usually, the people who are holding a visa and they are let's talk about the people who are holding a visitor visa to Australia. If you're currently holding a visa, you have a visa for 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. If you are currently outside Australia and you hold one of the visas, unfortunately, you will not be allowed to enter Australia unless you are an immediate family member, that is a spouse or a child of an Australian citizen or a permanent resident of Australia. Now, what you need to do in this scenario is that you have to wait. In the meantime, if your visitor visa expires, you would have to reapply for a visa to visit Australia. If you're currently within Australia and you hold a visa, and if your visa is due to expire, what you need to do is you need to either return to your home country, since that is encouraged by the immigration minister, and otherwise, if you cannot, and if you have family support within Australia, then that scenario, what you should be looking at doing is you should be looking at getting your visa extended. If you currently, let's assume you hold a visa for 12 months, which allows you to stay in Australia 3 months each time you come, and then you're going to be reapplying for a visa while you're in Australia to extend the period of stay of that 3 months. That is going to be replaced by the new visa, and then the next time when you get a visa, and if it's just for a 3 months visa, your previous visa would be cancelled. Basically, it'll be overtaken by this new visa. What you also need to make sure is that when you apply for this new visa, you do not have a condition that restricts you from applying for any future visas while you're in Australia. Usually a condition which is called a no further stay condition, the layman's term, it is the one that restricts anybody to apply for any visas while they are in Australia. If you have one of those conditions, then in that scenario what you should be looking at doing is applying for a waiver. You should request for a no further stay waiver, and then you should be able to do that at least 28 days prior to the expiry of your visa. If you do not have 28 days and your visa is going to be expiring soon and you have a no further stay condition, you should still be going ahead and applying for a waiver of no further stay, and then you should be intimating the case officer by adding the additional documents such as your Vivo check or your visa copy and your flight tickets to prove that your visa is due to expire, and then they should expedite the process of waiving your no further stay conditions so that you can lodge another visa validly and you can go ahead and stay legal in Australia. If you currently hold, or your one of your family member holds a visitor visa which is for a longer duration, for example a 3 years visa within which they are supposed to be staying in Australia for a cumulative period of 12 months in any 18 months period, then in that scenario usually you will have to go back after the total number of 12 months are over. In current scenario, what immigration is doing is that if that 12 months cumulative period was consecutive, that means if you have lived in Australia for 12 months at a stretch only, then you would be required to reapply for a visa. I'll give you an example. If somebody got a visa last year, they came and then they stayed for 6 months, and then they came back in the end of 2019. In that scenario, if they're 6 months, even if their another 6 months duration is due to finish, they can still continue to stay in Australia, because immigration is basically going to be counting a cumulative, not a cumulative period. They'll this time be counting a consecutive 12 months period. So you can actually stay in Australia for 12 months consecutively, and only then you would be required to lodge another visa. Visitor visa holders unfortunately would not be getting any grants, and if you maintain your stay in Australia, then you would be required to take care of all your expenses either through yourself or from a family member that is currently supporting you while you're in Australia. There are no incentives, no benefits, or no packages that would basically be helping the visitor visa holders while they're in Australia to be able to support themselves. That is the reason why the immigration minister has encouraged people who are currently holding a visitor visa, especially the ones who do not have a family support here, to return back to their home country. If you cannot do so for any reason and you still hold a valid visa, you can still continue to stay here until the visa expires.